Hello everybody, welcome back to Bohemian Killing. First two episodes we did our original half of the statement, I guess. Apparently we're now going to prison. Yay!
Monsieur Ethan, please hurry. The court is already in waiting.
Well, that didn't take long. You unlocked some more evidence. Cool. So I'm guessing that's the letters.
Bienvenue, messieurs. We are all present, so we can begin. To begin with, I inform you that Hugo Argent submitted further clarifications on the letter from the attorney's office discussed yesterday. His testimony has been attached to the evidence. Antoine Eaton, too, has submitted clarification on the issue of the rented room in the Caucasus Hotel. It was attached to the evidence. Monsieur Eaton, please continue your testimony from the moment you've ended yesterday.
Okay. So trying to make it look like a theft then. Let's check out that new evidence. Is that defense or not? Person, journal. Finally ready. You should soon be the testimony on who can find out checks is fast. Still no response from ministry. They're checking the matters. Defense locked. Here we go. Letters from the law firm. There are some relevant to transfer the designs of invention on which he worked in secret from the Fig company. The firm acted on behalf of Hugo Argent. Argent did not know about the construction of the secret invention, but was intrigued when Ethan ordered a fireproof safe to keep his designs. Who is... Is that our dad? No. So you had a detective agency which found that Ethan was working on an innovative weapon based on fire, predicting great profit. He sent him a letter to the law firm. Ethan refused. So that's our dad, I think. Okay, so that's our dad, Alfred Ethan. This conversation with... No, we are Alfred Ethan, and Antoine is our dad. Complaint on Hugo Argent's harassment was out from the law firm demanding a return of a secret project. I wanted to have his son sent on site to come for a visit. So he rented a room in the Caucasus Hotel on his name. However, when he heard about a robbery for a shop at his hometown, he left Paris urgently without seeing his son. Alright. Anything of use in here? Moves the best student in class, never causing a problem. Quiet, peaceful, balance, maintain contact. I remember that I attended the same school as children. High House of Wealthy Parisian. The factory owner invested in a recent invention, including the Fig company, which he has hired as head of Le Fig, meaning fire, for those willing to be along with everything. Mostly works at home, several verbal abuse cases. They had murder and both attended theatrical premiere. Ethan left, explaining himself by search of inspirations and leaving on to employment as fast as possible. Going over, he worked on the cleaning automaton. Oh yes, that's the thing we saw in our workshop there at the top, not the weird one. Was it possible to contact or explicitly testified had not enjoyed sharing their building with a person from a lower social class, especially with a gypsy. Therefore, they did not maintain any social contact with Alfred Ethan on the day of the murder. None of the neighbors was in the building. Officially informed that Albert Brissett does not have nor has ever owned a telephone. Why is that important? What do we have in our defense already? Not much. Okay. So what are we gonna do here, though? I suppose I could make a phone call.
I opened the door to the phone room.
Which just speeds time by 10 minutes. Maybe we could check the book again to see if she is actually here. The guy isn't here, so we can't look at that. What's the time? Apparently that's super important. Okay, so we've just been bonked on the head. Maybe we can make a phone call still. Say that we wanted to contact police or something. Getting robbed is generally something you would want to make a phone call over.
I spent a few minutes talking on the phone.
No. Okay. Ooh, we should check the bar.
I opened the door and walked out into the street.
Maybe they saw someone leave. Or maybe the car's gone. I don't know.
For a moment, I admired the charming streets of Montmartre. I read the restaurant's menu.
Let's just leave. Doesn't look like I can do anything else here. Switch the ignition on. There's no point. What's up with all the feathers, though?
For a moment, I admired the charms of Montmartre. I do not recall that now.
So you've just been robbed. What do you do? We gotta keep the blood on us because that's gonna be important later on.
I opened the door and entered.
Check if anything else is missing, I guess. Or maybe we're just waiting on time to pass by.
I opened the inner door.
I'm just gonna check the apartment again, then I'm gonna go to the hotel room.
Then I used the stairs.
Yes, congratulations, you used the stairs. It's kind of weird, you're looking at this from...
I opened the door and entered my apartment.
You're looking at this from a perspective of the accused, not... You're making, like they said in the game, you're making a story up, you're not writing history, so what you're doing isn't potentially what actually happened. But... So that's... What is this thing anyway?
Then I opened the elevator grate.
Yeah, but...
I used my freight elevator to go to the basement.
So you're not creating history, you're lying about what has already happened.
Then I opened the grate of my private elevator.
So this is where our... thingamabob
I
is?
examined the condition of the pipe which delivered packages from a local warehouse to my vending machine.
Brilliant.
I stared out of the window at the magnificent display of fireworks against La Tour Eiffel.
This doesn't bring me where I thought it would bring me.
Then I opened the grate of my private elevator. I took the freight elevator to my apartment. Usually, I use it to take up the boxes with parts. Then I opened the elevator grate.
How do I get back to my
I used the stairs.
room with the inventions? That was through here, wasn't it?
I opened the inner door.
Yeah.
I I saw a spare part of my invention lying on the ground. I saw traces of my blood on it.
Is there anything else we can do here? Console safe.
I saw a metal rod on the ground. There was blood on it.
Could turn this on or off. We'll leave the dagger. I'm not gonna read a book. There's plenty of other ways to pass the time. I'm gonna change clothes because once again that gets rid of the blood.
I looked through the documentation and projects hanging on the wall.
No need to call.
I checked the elements of my cleaning machine, assessing what remained to be done.
Well, let's go to the room then. Maybe that'll.
Then I used the stairs.
Yes. The stairs.
I opened the door and walked out into the stairwell.
Was there a way to check something? Cleaner's apartment, the company of them. Okay. So the fingerprint is done. We said she left because she stole our junk. Torture machine demonstration has also been taken care of. Metal rod has been taken care of. History of torture book. Medical expertise. What's the police reports? Because at 22:45 you need to be at the hotel, which is right about now.
I decided to use the stairs instead of the elevator. I opened the inner door. Then I opened the door and stepped outside.
It's quite intriguing, isn't it?
For a moment, I admired the charming streets of Montmartre.
He's done that quite a few times already.
I opened the gate.
He's been bugging me for quite a while.
I opened the door and walked into the Caucasus Hotel.
So let's wait until 22:45.
I opened the door to the phone room.
It's now... Yeah, so we can make a 5-minute phone call again, roughly.
I spent a few minutes talking on the phone.
So she's here now.
Then I opened the elevator grate. Then I took the elevator to the second floor. I opened the elevator grate. I opened the inner door. I opened the door and entered the room.
There's no... Yeah.
As I walked in, Madame Capet was standing by the desk, counting money from the suitcase. She didn't notice me.
Request a return of stolen designs. Sure.
I told her to return my design. It it's obvious that she was interested only in the money because she gave them back without hesitation.
Okay. So then we just leave and that'll be that.
Then I left the room into the corridor. So, you claim that you did not kill Marie Capet? Oui, Monsieur le Président. When I left the room, Marie Capet was still alive. I understand. Please continue, Monsieur Eaton.
So now we wait until 11:30.
I opened the inner door. I closed the inner door.
So the guy can see us entering our apartment at 11:30.
Then I called the elevator. I opened the elevator grate. Later, I took the elevator to the ground floor. I opened the elevator grate.
Let's have a look at something. So we're right. The woman was extremely stressed, being no doubt, and police probably following to call for help, and it was impossible to find the building she lived in. The clerk went out to get some water, she disappeared. So if we're just nowhere to be seen anymore, or the murder of Meek paid next day on the 18th. Be a cause of death, severe blow to the arm and liver. Okay. One of the neighbors passed the accused at the front door of the building in which they both lived. The clothing of the accused was stained with blood. The said clothes were never found. So we need to get spotted and then get rid of the clothing. And that's all there is left, I think. Yeah, that's the last one. So, does that mean we can go put our designs back in the safe? We need to wait a while now anyway, alright? What's the time? Yeah, we need to wait like half an hour or so, which means a lot of phone calls.
I spent a few minutes talking on the phone.
Is there anything else we can do, like a newspaper in the lobby or something? Let's go check out the first floor while we're at it. It's not gonna make sense, but...
I took the elevator to the first floor.
Why? But it felt like it.
I opened the elevator grate.
Let's check one last time. Timeline. When are we spotted? When they have passed for... Yeah, 23:30, and that's it.
For a moment, I admired the paintings of Paris.
The paintings of Paris.
I opened the elevator grate. Later, I took the elevator to the ground floor. I opened the elevator grate.
No newspaper or something that we can do. Restaurant is closed, we knew that. Guys, make another phone call.
I spent a few minutes talking.
Important event is approaching. To get acquainted with it. Murder of me next day. Yeah, but we've already sort of done that, right? None of this actually accuses us from being there, or does it? Metal rod, yeah. Fingerprint of the accused are found in the hotel room because of the murder weapon. Maybe I should... What's the time now? It's 11, so it's too late to go do anything. I thought I might go back up there and leave some prints around, but I guess we're too late on that.
I spent a few minutes talking on the phone.
One of the neighbors passed the... Yeah, okay. Wait, does it show us hints? Yeah, it does. Here are a few neighbors. They despise you. You could use this if you like to testify that the neighbor is lying, that he saw you entering the building, where he's lying, that he saw blood on your clothes. Another option is testimony you indeed passed him while entering the building, but your clothes are stained in your own blood from the razor cut or a bar fight. You may testify you never took the dagger from your secret workshop. I thought to explain that the court had someone stolen it from you and planted it again after the murder. Because testified you had a dagger with you. The mere fact of having weapons is not proof enough that you killed someone, or at least it will not be able to rebut other evidence of the prosecution. Let's see. Persuading the court that you weren't at the crime scene does not make any sense. The evidence is too hard. If you're feeling adventurous, you can try to convince the court that there was someone else who committed the murder. Or, of course, you may testify that you met Mary Payne Tell, but it was not you who murdered her. Please remember that in this case we will need hard evidence for the guilt of a third party. When I testify you killed party under influence of drugs, acting on passion or self-defense, it will certainly be better than a testimony that you murdered her in cold blood. If you opt for drugs, which would be the simplest of the options, please testify that you were under the influence of alcohol in the moment of murder. Acting in passion will require testimony that you killed Mary Payne at once, immediately after her assassination attempt on you. I should do it with a rod. Proving that you acted in self-defense will be difficult and require some sort of provocation of Mary Payne. So I'm thinking she came to this room for a reason. What was she looking for? Maybe it was someone. Please think about it and don't let her find what she was looking for. It should provoke the attack. I'm going to go with what I got right now, which is I didn't do anything. I went up there, but I didn't do it. So then we go outside.
I opened the door and walked out into the street.
All right.
For a moment, I admired the charms of Montmartre. I opened the door and entered the building where my apartment is.
So there should be a dude for us waiting here.
In the hallway, I passed the neighbor who was coming out of the building. He could have noticed the blood on my clothes, but it belonged to me, not to the victim.
Now we need to get rid of said clothes.
I opened the door. I decided to use the stairs instead of the elevator. I opened the door and entered my apartment.
You got a fireplace or something?
I glanced on the frames hanging on the wall. Their simplicity calmed me down and allowed me to focus.
I guess this is where we go to bed.
I opened the inner door.
I should just still try to find a way to get rid of my clothing.
Then I used the stairs.
Which means at this point I should get rid of them. Or at least like, take a shower, change clothes, blah blah blah.
Opened the door.
Change clothes.
I changed into clean clothes.
I guess we go back to the safe, put our stuff back in, although we don't know if the plans are actually here or not.
I opened the safe, then I put my designs of my secret invention on which I was working in my free time. I read for a while about the history of torture. Are you interested in this subject? It is not about hurting someone, but to use pain as one of the methods to convince someone to testify. Do you think it is acceptable to inflict pain during the interrogation? In extreme cases, yes, but my device is not inflicting it. And the prosecutor naming my device the torture machine only shows his deep ignorance on that subject. Order, please. And I admonish the accused to make no offense to any of the participants of this trial. Please, return to your testimony.
I guess that's where
I saw a spare part of my invention lying on the ground. I saw traces of my blood on it.
Yeah. Well, let's end, I guess.
I was tired after the banquet, so I immediately went to sleep. I was even too tired to undress. Is it all you want to testify, Monsieur Eaton? Oui, Monsieur le Président. And so I close the hearing. It is time to present your positions.
Let's see.
Monsieur le Président, the accused tried to trick himself off the responsibility. He used cunning rhetoric, trying to hide more and more of his new lies. However, in view of the evidence presented by the prosecutor, I have no doubt that Alfred Eaton, defendant who appeared today before the court, murdered Marie Capet in cold blood. Please, let the High Court not be deceived by his tearful stories about a poor gypsy from the country who gained his success with hard work, and which Marie Capet so cleverly tried to destroy. It was the accused who destroyed the life of a poor girl and her family with full premeditation. And what did that poor girl do to deserve such cruel fate? She was searching for a better life, and was employed as a maid in the same building in which a dangerous psychopath lived. According to the prosecution, the accused is guilty, Monsieur le Président. Therefore, I apply for recognition of Alfred Eaton, defendant who appeared today before the court, guilty of all charges against him, and for imposition of the death penalty by beheading on the guillotine. Thank you. Monsieur le Président, Monsieur Prosecutor used a lot of high-flown words. However, during the preparation of indictment, he made many mistakes. As to the hotel room, my client had never rented a room in the Caucasus Hotel. As we have shown during the proceedings, it was his father, Antoine Eaton. It is supported by the hotel's guest book, graphology expertise, and the testimony of Antoine Eaton. As to the alleged attempt to use the torture device on the victim, my client did not intend to use his interrogation device, which the prosecutor describes as a torture machine, neither on Marie Capet nor on anyone else. This is indicated by the letter sent by my client to the Ministère de la Justice with a proposal of a lawful use of the equipment to serve the law as well as society. The journal of Alfred Eaton clearly proves it, where he writes that he does not intend to use his device against honest, innocent people. It is important to emphasize the relationship of Marie Capet and my client. According to the testimony of the victim's parents, she felt a deep resentment and contempt both for my customer and for his work and success. As to the meeting with Marie Capet in his apartment, indeed, Marie Capet came to visit my client at his apartment, and Alfred Eaton let her in, not expecting such a sudden attack. Hence the victim's fingerprints in the apartment of my client, and traces of Monsieur Eaton's blood, which were mentioned by the prosecutor. As for Alfred Eaton's weapon, please note, Monsieur le Président, that my client testified that he had not had the murder weapon on himself. The knife was in his secret workshop all that time. Everyone could have stolen it and then dropped it off. As for the murder, as my client testified, he did not kill Marie Capet. So, who did? Please note, Monsieur le Président, that Alfred Eaton worked on a secret invention, which designs he kept hidden in his own safe. Neither Hugo Argent nor Le Feu Company were supposed to ever know about it. But that is not what happened. Monsieur Argent not only learned about the invention, but also wanted to come into its possession. This is indicated by a letter from a law firm that was sent to my client, in the same room that was rented by the father of the accused, Antoine Eaton. According to the testimony of Antoine Eaton, his son, Alfred Eaton, informed him about his problems with Hugo Argent. He wanted to help his son, so he used Marie Capet's aversion towards him and her difficult situation and hired her to steal the documents. So, if Alfred Eaton had ceased to possess them, he couldn't have handed them over to Hugo Argent's lawyers. However, something must have gone wrong. Maybe Marie Capet demanded more money or started to blackmail Antoine Eaton. Maybe there was some kind of accident and she was killed. There are many different possibilities, and there is a slight chance they will get determined, so I think that there are too many doubts to convict my client. As for the testimony of the neighbor who saw Alfred Eaton entering the building covered in blood, according to the testimony of my client, the meeting actually took place, and his clothes were stained with blood, but it was his blood, not the victim's. Thank you, Monsieur le Président.
Sounds legit, right?
I am in a deep regret that you had to stand before the court accused of such a terrible deed. I assure you that I deeply believe in your innocence and will do my best so that you can continue to work for the glory of Le Feu and toute la France. Cordialement, Hugo Argent.
Letter from Marie Capet.
Keep your scum. You can be sure that you will take responsibility for what you have done to our daughter. You will be beheaded, and even neither your millions nor your connections will be able to help you. Is the stolen money not enough? Is your wrongdoing to all these poor people not enough? You had to tear everything away from us, including our only daughter. Death to the rich. Vive la nouvelle révolution.
Stolen money?
Monsieur Eaton, the French Gypsy Association wishes to send you support and condolences for the persecution caused by your gypsy origin. We are aware that it was the main cause of your indictment. We offer you a safe haven if you decide to leave the prison in less official way. One of our persecuted members, who had also been imprisoned in the prison de la Santé, mentions the decayed walls in most of the cells. Maybe you could use this information. Signed, X.
This does look kind of off. So actually we could escape too then, huh? Well, I think we got a decent case going for us. There's a book there. Anything we can do with that? Nope.
Shefty, your father and I are quite sure that you did not do it. You couldn't have. We love you, and we are waiting for you at home. Please, leave this cursed Paris and return to your home parts. Mama et Papa. P.S. Papa asks you not to mention the hotel guest book. Apparently you know what that means?
Whoops.
Shefty, your father and I are praying for you, and we believe that the court will be merciful. Maman et Papa. Postscriptum. Papa is sorry that it did not work as he had planned.
So we could escape if we wanted to, huh? That's interesting. I kind of want to see where this goes, though. I'm hoping you guys are thinking the same for that. But that'll be for next episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series. Feel free to show support by commenting, liking, and or subbing if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, everyone.